I know you have probably done this as well. This new game came out and everyone is talking about how difficult it is, and you thought, maybe I am somehow really talented and I will beat the game with no problem. So you bought the game, you start the tutorial. I'm just a little tired. Let's see. This shouldn't be this hard.
I know, right? We got this. Do your job, hand.
How is this not your job?
It's not hard. We clearly just have to dodge when it attacks.
Well, I'm trying my best. How about you do it?
If you know how to draw, how do you not know how to press a button?
I hate you. I'm leaving this body.
Hi everyone. This video is actually not meant to be so silly. 2020 has been a really rough year for me. I've been living my life doing nothing like a smoked salmon, but emotionally going through huge up and downs. So why am I making a video about something that sounds so depressing? Recently, I managed to motivate myself after being burnt out for so long, like a year. And what helped me was games. Yeah, games, which is often related to laziness, childishness, and lack of motivation. You might be thinking here, how come anybody have a slump that lasts a whole year? Before getting to that, let me explain to you what I did during the past year. Yeah, it was a slump. Of course, I did nothing. But then the story cannot continue. What should I do? How about let's go all the way back to when I was in grade 6. My family was strict and did not allow video games. Also, I was dumb enough to not ask for the fun things just because my mom wouldn't buy me them. So, my childhood had no Mario Kart or Pokemon or any of that fun stuff. The only few games I've tried were like a website full of ads where a hot waitress trying to escape from nasty monsters, which was just a 2D platformer game, but yeah, they were very sketchy. But being a huge weeaboo, I did have friends who owned consoles. Once, I tried a friend's PlayStation Portable for about 2 minutes, and I was immediately educated that I should treat R and R buttons gently, or else they could get damaged. I was like, oh my god, gaming consoles are so scary, and I returned the machine at once, frightened. That was my first and only experience with console games, and ever since then, I always tell myself I don't have a console because I'm not interested. A lie that made me feel better. But at the end of the day, games are fun, and I would still play some phone games or watch streamers. Even without a console, I had the soul of a gamer. I still remember that night when I was in grade 11. Lights were off as I pretended to be sleeping, but actually was playing a music game. The tablet was glowing in the darkness, 10 fingers dancing on the touchscreen. My heartbeat was as intense as the gameplay. Stop playing! Go to bed now! You know, I'm still too nervous to play a single game in front of my mom, even until today. So that was my childhood experience with games. Now let's time travel to where this all began, 2019. Nintendo game Animal Crossing was coming out. It was all over my newsfeed. I remember seeing a picture of one of the game characters, Isabelle, and then without knowing what the game was about or what the gameplay was, just because Isabelle is so damn cute, I bought a console. By the way, Nintendo Switch was out of stock everywhere at the time too. I rode a bicycle for 2 hours to get a second-hand one while it was raining and like 5 degrees. When can I ever get this kind of motivation for studying? Owning my first console was a very odd feeling. They felt so far away when I was a kid, but now I realized all you need to do is just to pay for one, and then you own one. So yeah, who said money can't buy happiness? I started playing Animal Crossing during full lockdown. Things felt really lonely. I had a gaming group chat with friends back in my country. Because there's a 12 hours time difference, there will be hundreds of messages when I first wake up in the morning. And I always manage to read through all of them while brushing my teeth. Sometimes we play together while being on microphone, record funny moments and send it to each other. I probably really enjoyed the feeling of playing with friends. When I had no one to play with, I just play a stream in the background to accompany myself. During that period of time, I was like... I was always doing things at home and be like, woohoo! I pour a glass of milk, I put on a shirt, and I just make the Animal Crossing sound effect with my mouth. I was doing everything Animal Crossing, including... wait, not this. I know, it sounds like I was having a lot of fun. So what is this slump thing I was talking about? In fact, in the very beginning, I was addicted to the game but still living my normal life and doing things I was passionate about. Busy with all my hobbies like sewing, crafting, working out, until something happened at the time made me look at the world in a completely different perspective. As much as I tried to adapt, my beliefs shook too much. It felt like, oh my god, all the things I've been taking for granted were actually not true? So it is actually first the egg and then the chicken? Wait, what? Eggs and chicken were actually both made out of clay by a monkey? Plus, by this time, I've been staying inside for a year without seeing any sunlight or other living human. All of the reasons above combined caused me to become a useless garbage. But I couldn't accept that change, and I tried to push through things, thinking that was the way to be motivated again. So I forced myself to do drawings or work out, but seriously could not persist with any of them. It didn't feel like laziness, just actually burnt out. So I kept laying like this. Are you thinking this is just looking like a loser now? What a coincidence, I thought that too. So for the longest time I was being unmotivated while stressed about being unmotivated and hating myself for how I was feeling, which just built more and more anxiety each day. One day when the anxiety reached a certain point, I entered a strange state of mind. A new comment. Don't want to see it. Yeah, more like afraid of seeing it. How about let's just delete the app right now? Oh, there are more and more email notifications. I will reply later. Maybe procrastinate just for a little bit longer. Or maybe I will be fine if I just pretend I've been busy lately. Just like that, I suddenly became extremely antisocial. Looking back, I don't know if I was trying to escape from reality or giving up on life. I just couldn't think of anything I could do. So I just played games. After a while, it started to feel like everything in real life was stressful and depressing. Joy only existed in games. I spent so long being passive like this, until one day...
Hey! A game is more important than me. Hey asshole, say something! I knew you changed. You used to promise me that you would never let my USB port get dusty.
Even though that tablet was kind of annoying, but it did have a point. I suddenly realized it's taking longer than expected to feel better again. I've not drawn in forever. Even the journal I used to write every day stayed empty for the year of 2020. So once again, I started to force myself to draw. As the old saying goes, drawing a piece of shit is better than drawing nothing at all. But it became a nightmare. Not just that my head was all empty, I was also worrying too much what if no one likes my drawing. Hit the like button for my post. There's no meaning to my life anymore. As ridiculous as it sounds, it was actually what I was thinking. Social media is like a big market. Content creators are like vendors. If users walk by and find what you're selling to be interesting, then they will stop and have a look. But say you have to go to the washroom and be absent for a couple hours, audience's attention will be distracted by a million other vendors. Recognition can definitely be a creator's biggest motivation, but it can also be your sell bar. Those drawings I did before went popular, maybe I should try to copy that. No, I can't do that. I'm no longer the person I used to be. How about try something new? But my followers follow me for the work I did before. They're not going to like different things. Oh my god, why am I so easily affected by everything? I'm such a failure. During that time, I loved every piece of artwork I saw, but as soon as I tried to imagine myself being the artist, the same artwork would turn into garbage to me. But if I step back and take another look, it would become a masterpiece to me again. Here's a drawing that I was reworking for weeks and did 8 or 9 passes on it, but deleted all in the end. And after that, I started to think everything was meaningless. Drawing was meaningless. Hobbies were meaningless. Working and socializing were meaningless. I used to be able to cheer up simply by eating my favorite food, but all foods started to taste like wax. Eating felt like a cumbersome business. Cooking and then chewing, it was just way too much. So I was eating 1 meal a day. Sometimes because I don't feel like cooking, I would eat raw. One time I tried to eat broccoli raw, but it was too hard to chew, so I still boiled it in the end. I had no goals, no plans. All I could do was work and then play games. Games were like painkillers at the time. Games. Yeah, games. I feel blessed that I actually got my first console so late and didn't find out about this game called Breath of the Wild until 2020. It was a brand new experience for me. It was the first time I tried to use controller in a 3D space and try to fight enemies. I sucked at it and I fell down from cliffs all the time, burned the character to death by trying to cook. But it kept me company and soon became the only bit of happiness in my everyday life. I was obsessed with it and I would search up lore videos, advanced gameplay videos. I was walking on the street thinking there were Koroxes on the top of a telephone pole. There was an action called Snake Strike in the game. I thought it was fun and recorded a lot of my own gameplay. I wanted to share them so badly, but was afraid of posting them on my socials because I didn't want to disturb anyone. So I edited everything together and uploaded them onto a video website, thinking I would be happy enough even just getting a few clicks. And I actually didn't want to post it on my existing account at first because I had some art content on there already. But then I thought, I literally have no followers and the only few I've got are from like 8 years ago. Plus, I might never be able to draw again, so who cares what type of creator I am? So I still made the upload thinking no one will see it anyways. But when I checked the next morning, there were suddenly a lot of likes and comments. I was flattered. So I made another one with more effort, and that one even got more viewers. I felt really happy and grateful. It was like I had friends playing games with me again. Someone else is also enjoying the things I'm enjoying. I was filled with encouragement. Then I started to upload more challenging gameplays, and I even purchased a game capture card for this. Knowing someone is watching, I spent more and more effort on each video, and also started to learn new softwares. Because of games, I was actually able to put down the game and go do things that I wasn't motivated enough to do before. It happened quietly, but my passion for creating and learning had already came back. And then the desire to draw came back as well. It's not pressure to draw in order to stay active online, but the need to pick up the pencil because I wanted to express something. It was then I realized I actually managed to step out of the struggle that trapped me for an entire year. Now that I think about it, during the past year, constant stress in life, relationship, and environment stopped me from looking forward. On one hand, I was scared of wasting time and not being able to create again. On the other hand, I was worried about being forgotten and losing achievements that I've already earned. But now I think to have supports while making new attempts and explorations is definitely nice. But if audiences leave because I don't have what they want, that's also inevitable. Maybe tomorrow I will have new audiences pressing that like button for me. Or maybe there will be less people interested in my work. But I have been searching for a balance where I create something out of enjoyment, share it with others, and they enjoy it too. It's like drawing on textbook while I was a little kid and showing it to my best friends. I think this balance is pretty fragile. We sometimes lose the balance. Maybe it's when we're going through hard times, but we can all gain this balance back. It just needs some time. You know, the sight in front of us might look intimidating, but the sky did not fall down on us.